The mechanism for implementing the inter-age refocusings. In the 11th volume of Commentaries to Fundamentals of Iissiidiology, there is written that the inter-age refocusing is possible. However, then I would lose my memory of that I made such refocusing having lived to some age. I'd like to clarify something, but I'm going to take an example to make it clear. In the age of 15, I liked something, rock music for example. I had been realizing that interest for 5 years, and that music had stopped to please me absolutely by 20 years. I changed it for the IFAR songs. If I lived by 90 years after the inter-age refocusing, then refocused to myself young, forgot that I refocused, that is to say, became equated with myself of 15 years old. Again, therefore, actually I wouldn't like rock music because I realized it before, am I right? That's not the point. You couldn't refocus to the exact place where you liked rock music. You couldn't do it, just because this conception of yours about yourself young wouldn't make an interest for you. The inter-age refocusings are implemented in degree of interest. The interest appears only in the degree of unsynthesized condition of any self-consciousness's sub-levels at the time of refocusing. For instance, in your 90, something keeps attracting you from your childhood, adolescence, or mature period very much. For example, you sit on a bench in a park in the age of 90, looking at passing women and lick. You know and understand what you could do with them and know how you should do it, but you can't. You want to realize sexual relationships with them, but you can't yet. You want it because you didn't realize yourself completely in such relationships. As you follow them with your eyes, it depicts all your psychisms that haven't been realized yet. You follow not every woman, but only liked ones. You looked at such and such and such, but this one may pass by. The notion "this may pass by" means that the certain stuff of self-consciousness's sub-levels has no conception about themselves, exactly on the current appearance frequency. If this old man read Iissiidiology, the above-mentioned stuff would become the main moment of implementing the inter-age refocusing. But I wrote in the 11th volume that it is impossible to be oriented to any certain configuration of self-consciousness. You choose only the unsynthesized aspects at that time from the overall configuration of your personality. All synthesized aspects stay out of your attention. You don't want to choose them. Every refocusing is a resonational method. Because of resonation to any sphurum forms, conceptions, you make a refocusing. The sphurum forms inherent to this old man in his 23 remain the same for him in his 90. Well, he hadn't got enough of such pleasure. The main mechanism of his manifestation in this person is exactly the highest extent of similarity of sphurum forms, conceptions. It can appear not necessarily as just this specificity, because these conceptions overlapped with his great age period. He lived by 90 years, but these conceptions still were and were unsynthesized. More accurately, they were synthesized, but to a little extent. When his biologic body got weak and he became incapable of realizing himself in these relationships, now the most important in his life is to not any matters of spiritual development or anything else. No, namely the pleasures he had in his life remain the only interesting ones for him. How it was with Marusia. What a girl she was. Natasha was different. Praskovia. Who else? Marfa was nice and... All that stuff passed through his long age period. Therefore, look, his configuration won't be attracted to the age period when neither Marfa nor Praskovia nor that girl was. What is a refocusing? It is displacement of former creators' dynamics from configurations of one kind to the other, but partially. Not the whole configuration is displaced. If it was wholly, so the whole personality would come to this configuration. Maybe not as a whole, okay, but if many conglomerates of former creators resonate with any different configurations, there is the joint of the configurations klexed in different ways. Then there is the dominance of the configuration klexed not by the former creators, which structured the 90 years old man, but by the former creators which reached, let it be, the moment that he remembered. He remembered Marfa, Praskovia, these, that, who were liked by him most of all. He remembered what he wants to do again. Just at that moment he starts to feel as a part of his sexual activity and of course that person. At the time of so-called death, along with this current scenario, there is the moment of Duvalier passing in the qualitative tendencies which are inherent to a man at the time of death, in the instant of death. At the moment of death, the direction of one personality is laid to one protoform, the direction for another personality is laid to another protoform. Immediately, at the same moment, the differentiation of the whole person proceeds conglomerate by conglomerate.